We're talking to constitutional law professor attorney John Molo from the UP College of Law. Welcome back to StoryCon, Professor Molo.
Magandang hapon,
good to be back.
Professor.
Hi, Prof. Sorry, mag-blue yung mga kasama namin eh.
Ikaw pa yung nagsabi niya. Alam ko, may alam din si Professor. Although he's a constitutional law expert, may alam din yan sa civil engineering.
Ano talaga?
No, tama yung sinasabi ni Ami, right, Prof? The
Yeah.
foundation
I know
is...
a lot of good civil engineers. The good
Yeah.
ones, the good ones.
Bakit
Oo
hindi
nga
sila
eh.
yung gumagawa ng EDSA or these flood control projects?
You could ask them that question when you
Ayaw nila, di ba?
get them to guest.
Hindi yan magpapa-interview, kayo naman.
Ano nga palang sagot anong paliwanag ni Vince Dizon dun sa mga lubak?
Hindi naman niya
Wala.
piniliwanag, but just to say, uulitin daw ng contractor yung trabaho. But I mean, that's beside the point.
Sino ba yung contractor?
Well,
Di
I
ba-
don't know.
Alam
but
ni Ami eh.
Garjo, yun na nga, Redicon yata. Redicon.
Okay. Anyways, we're talking about the impeachment. What did you make? Start from a big picture point of view, Prof. What was your takeaways on the second article that they're tackling? Because I think we haven't spoken to you since after
Article 4.
the grave threats article, diba? So I think first time that we're talking to you on the confidential funds series.
Well, so far, the prosecution, of course, has been the one speaking the entire time. But so far, they have made a good case in presenting that there are some irregularities that happened with respect to the receipt and how the confidential funds actually left the bank and was received. Okay, so after that, the COA witnesses made a good, to me, showing that there were a lot of questions raised with how these funds were actually spent based on the documents that were actually submitted to them as well, coming from either the office of the vice president or from the DepEd. So from where we are at this point, of course, we still need to hear from the side of the defense if in truth these alleged irregularities can be justified or can they be corrected. So we'll wait for that. But so far right now, I mean, unsurprisingly, the prosecution has been presenting its evidence and they have so far managed to establish these things.
Yung,
for
yung
example,
ibang,
si-
yung ibang nabanggit ng prosecution, alam na natin yun eh. Yung mga aliases na nakakatawa.
Si Bacon tsaka si Pampano.
Oo, tapos
Pero
yung...
just because they're funny doesn't mean they're fictitious.
Totoo naman
Hindi,
yun.
kaya nga sabi ko, alam na natin yun eh. Mas ang issue doon, totoo ba yung tao na yun?
Naalala ko na naman si Andy Lim.
Oo. Totoo ba yung mga taong yun? Mas yun ang issue eh. Aliases is alias siya ng isang tunay na tao. Meron bang tunay na tao? Mas yun yung kailangan patunayan ng prosecution. Pero
Ng defense.
matagal na yan eh. Matagal ng issue yan eh.
Yeah.
Diba? Pinagtatawanan na yan for more than a year. Yung ikalawa ay yung notice of disallowance. Matagal na rin yun eh. Yung mga bagong mga detalye, Professor, itong mga ire-reimburse mo bago mo nakuha yung pera, na according to the circular, bawal pala yun. Ikalawa, yung mga ibang pinaggastusan na bawal din sa circular. Ito yung mga bago. Ito yung mga bagong labas dito. Ano ba yung mga inaasahan nyo pa, Prof, na medyo significant na lalabas? Halimbawa, next week. Halimbawa, hindi pa pinapatawag si si Colonel Lachica. Tapos si Madriaga, hindi rin pinapatawag. Hindi nga sure kung ipapatawag pa. Pero ipapatawag yata itong mga disbursing officers na medyo sinimula ng sisihin ni Senator Amy Marcos. No? Nakasalanan daw nitong disbursing officer, hindi necessarily yung head of office. So, from your vantage point, Professor, anong inaasahan nyo na medyo significant na lalabas next week?
Well, ako, personally, I would like the prosecution to close the loop. So, they managed to introduce specifically yung mga items na sinabi mo nga. Pero kumbaga para sa akin, hindi pa naman close yung loop. Kasi maaaring ma-explain pa yan ng defense. Pero kung halimbawa, patunayan nga nila na fictitious yung names, or sa akin, significantly, if ma-present nila yung dalawang pangalan na binanggit mo, Madriaga and Lachica, then we will hear the story of where the money actually went. Kasi sa impeachment, specifically when it concerns public funds, yun naman talaga yung kailangan marinig ng taong bayan eh. Lumabas yung pera, saan ba talaga napunta?
Pero sir, how do you prove that, for example, fictitious ang name? Kasi it's like proving that something does not exist is harder than proving that something does exist.
Well, I don't know how our country does it, but other countries do have two system when it comes to intelligence funds. You have the operational ledger, and then you have the what they call the public ledger. So I think based sa mga questions ng Senator Judges, it was Senator Ping Lacson who was trying to open the door to this discussion already.
Bolt.
Although the COA auditor might not be the best person, that the younger one might not be the best person to actually answer those
Del
questions. So he
Campo.
was already trying to open this topic, the operational ledger versus the public ledger. Kasi doon mo talaga din makikita kung willing sila ilabas yan. Or, if they can present, the prosecution is using the tactic of actually requesting for a subpoena for some of these people, like Mary Grace Piatos.
Posible ba, Professor, na wala yung operational ledger? Can that happen? Public ledger lang ang meron?
Well, posibleng yung public ledger ang tingnan na ng COA, di ba? Ngayon, kung yung hinahanap, for example, ni Senator Lacson, kung wala yon, then in the eyes of the senator, then call na nila talaga yan. Baka naman talaga walang intelligence activities na nangyari.
Professor, nag-umpisa pa lang yung cross-examination, ano? Pero nakikita na natin yung takbo ng defense eh. Sinasabi nila may presumption yan of regularity in the use of secret funds. Medyo nabubura yung line between confidential and intelligence. Medyo malabo pa siya actually eh. Yung definition, no? At saka yung eto bang civilian office na to, pwede ba siyang gumamit na secret funds? Yun yung takbo nung pati yung mga tanong nila ng mga kakampi nila eh, na senador eh, yun din eh. Sabi, may mga threat dito sa official na to, kaya nagko-conduct ng mga intelligence gathering para ma-assess yung threat level sa mga pupuntahan niya. Ang tanong ko, you've seen yung joint circular, no? And yung rules natin sa confidential intelligence fund. Sa tingin mo, may mga weaknesses doon na pwedeng gamiting loophole. Para yun ang takbo ng defense eh, na hindi naman bawal yung ginagawa namin eh. Ano bang pakialam niyo kung kahit ibigay namin yan sa mga Mary Grace Piatos, it's allowed. Ganun yung takbo. May basis ba siya sa nakikita nyo dun sa existing circular laws, rules?
Well, if the claim, Ma'am Amy, if the claim is that pwede naman gamitin ang confidential funds para dito, ang answer dyan is, of course, hindi. Kasi kung gusto mo naman talagang tumulong, for example, mag-gift giving, mag-Christmas party, yung budget, yung GAA ng Pilipinas, may ibang items dyan. Line item dapat ang gamitin mo dyan. Halimbawa, kung magpapatayo ka nga ng classroom, usually humihingi ka ng line item for that. Sasabihin mo, 5 classroom sa ganitong distrito, 20 million. Yun ang pag-uusapan sa Kongreso, yun ang perang gagamitin mo dyan. Gusto mo ng feeding program? Sige, magkano, saan? Ilalagay din yan as a line in the item of the GAA, a line item na GAA. Yung confidential fund, ang lumalabas dyan sa dokumento ng GAA, confidential fund, 500 million. Yun lang. So ngayon, kung sasabihin mo, pwede ko to gamitin for anything else, parang mo nang sinasabi sa buong Pilipinas, may slush fund ako, na ako na bahala kung saan ko to gagamitin. Based on the circulars, hindi pwede yon. And even on a constitutional principle, hindi din talaga pwede yon. Kasi nung linitigate namin to nung panahon ni Napoles sa yung PDAF litigation, nag-oral arguments kami doon, isa to sa diniscuss din namin sa harapan ng Supreme Court. In principle, sinabi na ng Supreme Court, although they did not declare lump sum funds as unconstitutional per se, it's still canalized or limited in terms of use. And kaya nga merong renevise yung COA, the joint circular, kaya nga renevise yan para talagang ma-regulate yung paggamit ng mga lump sum funds katulad nito.
And I suppose that's what the 400-man Vice Presidential Security Group is for, to secure the area where you're going to have a Christmas party or a Thanksgiving party or a Toda appreciation party, not the confidential funds. Kasi
Well, precisely because that is actually funded by a different line item in the budget. Yun ang gamitin mo. Yung MOOE mo, di ba? Para sa opisina mo, if you're the head of agency. for your security. But you cannot use a confidential fund na parang, okay, taga-Hawi Boys, 50. Hindi ganun yun. Hindi ganun yun. Based on the circular.
Pero mahalaga yung sinabi niya, Professor, dahil mukhang ang trato talaga rito ng Vice President, slush fund.
Hindi pwede yun.
Yun ang trato nila by all indications.
Eh,
Ang treatment nila rito is a slush fund.
And then of course, one of the defense arguments is that hindi pa naman final. They are still
Yeah.
appealing the decision and iaakyat pa sa Supreme Court. Although of course, si former COA Commissioner Heidi Mendoza has already explained this to us, which is once COA issues the notice, final and executory na yun. The only time the courts can step in is when there has been a grave abuse
Use of
of discretion.
discretion.
What do you think, Prof?
Well, I'm not gonna comment on the merits, okay? But I can distinguish. Tatlo ang proceedings na pinag-uusapan. For example, may impeachment proceedings which tests the fitness of an official to stay in office. Yung COA Notice of Disallowance na nagsimula sa AOM, ang usapin dyan, kailangan mo ba magsoli ng pera na binigay sa'yo? Yun ang hindi pa final. Hiwala yun. And then if ever man may criminal, let's say plunder, hiwalay din yun. So tatlo yan. Ngayon, kung anong status ng isang proceeding, let's say the NOD, kung di pa yan final, kumbaga, hindi pa ako required magsoli ng pera. Pero yung impeachment, hiwalay na usapin yan. Ngayon, kung sasabihin naman na parang, so ba't natin dinidiscuss yung findings ng COA kung magkakahiwalay naman yan? Kasi nga, kailangan naman malaman ng mga senator judges saan nanggagaling yung punto de vista ng House of Representatives for saying na may kamali ang nangyari na sunod-sunod sa paggamit ng pondo yung Vice President and as DepEd Secretary. Right? Pero yung tatlong proceedings na yon, talagang magkakahiwalay yan. For example, posibleng matanggal yung Vice President, pero posible din na in the end, the Supreme Court will say, hindi mo kailangan magsoli ng pera kasi yung NOD, i-reverse nila. Posible yon because these are separate proceedings. Or, posibleng pagsoli siya ng pera based on the NOD ng COA, pero hindi naman siya makukulong for plunder kasi that one goes to the Sandigan Bayan. Hiwalay din naman yun. So, the three proceedings are independent of each other, but it's also relevant to discuss what has happened in the past here in front of the Senate kasi the Senate will make its own judgment. Based sa nakikita namin ngayon, karapat-dapat bang manatili pa din yung taong to sa opisina niya for the next 2 years? Yun ang naman yung tanong dito eh.
There's a narrative going around that's been propounded by Attorney Harry Roque na ayaw ba natin yun ng CF kahit pa paano ginamit yan para sa tupad, sa ayuda, sa mga toda, imbes na binulsa. What do you think of that?
Yeah.
Well, ako actually gusto ko ng 10,000 pesos bawat Pilipino. Universal basic income ang tawag dyan. So, Harry, tama ka. Masaya akong ginamit yun. Ang problema, anong pera yung ginamit? Kung hindi naman part ng budget, yung ginamit mo, confidential fund, mali pa rin yun. Kasi yung teacher na ginamit yung galing sa DepEd na pera sa halip na pambili ng chalk at saka let's say ng eraser, ginamit niya for something else, kukulong mo. Ilang hundreds of pesos lang yun. Pero pag ganito kalaki, okay lang. Basta pabor sa'yo. So it doesn't really matter kung halimbawa sasabihin natin, buti naman yan, ginamit pang meeting ng TODA or Christmas party. Okay yun. Okay. Ang problema, ginamit mo ba yung tamang pondo para dyan? Yun ang yun yung pinaka-core problem dito. Saan
Pero,
galing yung pera at dinisburse ba sa tamang paraan?
Pero Prof, mukhang alam naman ni Harry yun eh. Hindi naman,
Yes,
hindi
because
naman,
nagtuturo naman siya sa
Kila-
UP dati and
Okay.
marami sa amin, well, hindi ako naging
Yeah.
estudyante niya. So I'm sure alam niya yun.
kilala naman natin si Harry. Hindi naman yan, marami siyang mga kahinaan, pero hindi naman yan bobo. No? Kaya alam naman niya yung sagot sa tanong niya. Ini-spin lang niya.
Yes.
It's a spin nung nangyayari. No?
Pero attorney, still on that, do I get it right na it was never proven naman and so far they have not proven that the money really did go to those items that they claimed it went to? Kasi nga, the recipients are have not been proven to be true
Fictish.
and actual people. And wala naman talagang resibo. Puro acknowledgement receipt lamang na pirmado ng mga isda at ng mga
Grabe. Si Pampano.
si Pampano.
Chippy.
Tsaka si, well, yun naman I mean. Alleging that the money went to a
Ayuda.
beneficial, a benevolent cause is one thing, but actually proving that it really did go to that cause is another thing altogether.
That is true. Kasi pag pineke mo naman yung sinubmit mo sa COA, that's a completely different offense na naman. Di ba? Bukod sa hindi ka na nga compliant sa compliance audit, kung mahuli ka pa ng COA na pumeke ng mga ganyan, dagdag pa yan. Kaya nga iniisip naman ng COA, baka kailangan natin mag-fraud audit. So, it really makes things worse if malaman ng COA na bukod sa hindi pala compliant sa guidelines namin, there's really indicia of fraud here.
Baka idinidiin
Professor,
talaga
may
ni
nakikita
Kwan.
ka bang problema sa messaging? Kasi yun na nga, to their point, sinabi na nga nila, parang inaano nila yung, ang takbo ng argumento ng kabila, ano? Sabi nila parang ginagamit sa mga emergency, sa mga pangangailangan ng mga pobre, yung confidential funds. Parang ganun ang pinalalabas nila na purpose niyang pondong yan And I think it's resonating sa certain segments, no, na bakit nyo iniimbestigahan yung tinulungan na nga kami. Yun na nga yung kinikwento ni Ed.
Well, pwede kong
You think there's a problem
kunin-
with messaging?
Well, pwede kong gamitin yung argument na yan, na sabihin na ginamit ko yung flood control ko, namigay naman ako ng regalo. So, okay lang ba yun? Kasi kung congressman ako, ginamit ko yung flood control ko, nagpakain ako sa distrito, are we okay with that? Kasi pag okay ka dyan, ibig sabihin yung buong Pilipinas, lahat ng opisyal natin, pwede na gamitin yan, ha? Ganun naman kasi ang constitution
Pero yung
na
flood
Pag
control,
inuuan mo sa isa,
nararamdaman
dapat lahat
natin
pwede.
Hindi, yung flood control, nararamdaman natin yung yung consequences nung maling paggamit ng pondo. Eto,
Yes.
may nakinabang lang
Meron, oo. Well,
Oo.
yun nga, allegedly may nakinabang nga, di ba? So parang
Oo.
mahirap i-expand yung ganyang thinking kasi syempre, tandaan natin na since impeachment ang pinag-uusap, what is applicable for this public official should be applicable for all public officials niyan. So,
Parang
can a
si
teacher do it?
Parang si Engineer Henry Alcantara, yung dating Bulacan First
Bulacan
District
Engineer.
Chief Engineer ba yun? O what do you call that?
Division head
Yeah.
ng first
Yung-
district
Oo.
ng Bulacan.
He's well known sa kanyang komunidad kasi he donated
Yeah.
an ambulance and 2
Fire
fire trucks
truck.
na maliliit.
May building pa
Nagpatayo ng
Oo, may
basketball
building pa.
court.
Oh. So,
Pero-
may konting paambon.
Pero kahit dito, wala namang ganun Paano, pinaliwanag naman nila sa napunta itong kanilang confidential tsaka intelligence fund. Pinaliwanag nila napunta sa Thanksgiving party, Christmas party, mga gamot, di ba?
And that comes from them. That came from them.
Mga safe houses, etc. Kung meron na napunta sa ayuda, maliit lang yon, sobrang liit lang yon. Kaya hindi nila pwedeng, even that, hindi nila pwedeng i-sustain yung narrative Dahil nagpaliwanag na sila ng mahaba kung saan nila ginamit ito
So maybe attorney, ang tanong doon is ano yung mas mabigat dito? Is the burden on the prosecution to prove na yung pera ay napunta sa maling projects, or do they have to go so far as to prove na fictitious yung names, for example, or the money ended up somewhere else?
Or all of the
Well,
above.
so far kasi nga, ang napatunayan na ng prosecution is may perang lumabas, may perang was held to account, tas hindi pa so far nasa-substantiate nung public official. Ngayon, ang rule kasi sa batas, pag meron kang pondong hinawakan bilang public official, tapos hindi mo ma-account properly, may prima facie. Ibig sabihin, ang presumption namin dyan, either mali ang pagkakagastos or nawaldas yan. Yun yung standing right now. So, mali din sabihin na parang kailangan ng prosecution patunayan where each centavo actually went. Hindi ganun kasi ang when you're dealing with public funds.
Yeah.
The public officer is laboring under a prima facie presumption already. Pag napatunayang natanggap niya yan, and eto, nasa level na tayo ng isang COA NOD, may prima facie presumption na yan. So, importante din na hintayin natin kung ano sasabihin talaga ng defense na kanilang explanation dito sa mga sinabit nila sa COA.
Yeah.
Isa pang tanong ko, pinailan na si Vice President alongside the impeachment trial. Pinailan siya ng criminal complaint before the korte na, no, or preliminary
RTC.
investigation. But anyway, it's a criminal prosecution alongside. Pwede bang pagsabayin yun? For the same grave
Yeah,
threats?
pwede.
Grave threats.
Pwede. The Vice President does not have immunity. Right? The only official that really has immunity from criminal prosecution is the President. And actually, sa klase ko, palagi kong tinatanong pa nga ang mga estudyante ko, open the Constitution, look for the provision giving the President immunity.
Yeah.
Wala kang
Wala.
makikita. Wala. Okay? Yung
It's just
Supreme Court
tradition.
ang nag-reinforce
It's
niyan.
jurisprudence.
But even then, it stops at the President.
Ah.
Oo. Nakita ko yung report na apparently ina-argue kasi ng lawyers ng Vice President, there are far-reaching implications if you charge an impeachable officer with a criminal offense. So sinight nila yung Supreme Court.
It could
Justice
set
is an
a
ombudsman.
precedent. You don't think
Yeah.
it could set a
Pero pwedeng
precedent?
isabay sa impeachment trial. Pwede bang isabay?
Pwede. Oh. Actually, sabay-sabay na yan. The notice of disallowance is ongoing, the impeachment, the criminal. So, kaya nga independent of each other. So, pwedeng sabay.
But you don't agree that it could set a precedent pag na-prosecute siya for the criminal case in terms of
Precedent
immunity?
for what? We already have Republic versus Sereno na ironically was passed during the Duterte era. That already says that impeachable officers are not necessarily can only be removed by impeachment anyway. So you can institute co-warranto and all of these proceedings. Lumabas yon during the Duterte era. So it actually undercuts that argument already.
Pero sir, what if
Walang conflict anymore.
Sir, hypothetical, what if, for example, the RTC convicts or finds Sara guilty and the impeachment court does not, and therefore she remains as a VP until 2028? So what happens then from the time that a sentence is handed down to the time that she steps down?
Well, no immunity, so you have to serve the sentence.
But only after, I suppose, only after you step down.
None of our public officials are immune from criminal prosecution and punishment except the president during his term of office. So the answer remains the same. She will have to serve
Sir, that's
time.
interesting. So you mean she can go to jail but she does not necessarily lose her position? Tama ba?
Well, once she is sent to jail, then we have to deal with the same question with respect to, for example, Marcoleta, Estrada, Revilla, whether or not she is effectively suspended from office. Pero kumbaga, ganun siya kahiwa-hiwalay na parang a vice president, for example, cannot commit murder and say that, you cannot charge me criminally.
Because I'm immune.
Diba?
Not
Oo,
immune.
because I'm immune.
not,
Hindi pwede yun.
I can't be removed from office.
Even Trump tried that once before his second term when he said that I can shoot someone on Fifth Avenue and get away with it.
Yeah,
Naglabas
I
yung
remember.
Supreme Court nila ng ruling doon, Trump versus Vance, saying that no one is above the law.
Yeah.
The president's not a king. Si Chief Justice Roberts nagsabi nun. So, hindi yan. Medyo malinaw yan. Kahit high official ka, kahit impeachable official ka, hindi pwedeng mag-commit ng crime. A crime is still a crime. Ang nangyayari lang, if you're the president, you're immune while you're
Yes,
in
sir.
office. Hindi namin bumaba ka.
But if you're, for example, a VP or a justice or
Pwedeng,
so on
ayun
the
na.
line, you can still be sent to jail, pero ibang tanong pa yung whether or not you can be stripped of your office because you have because you're an impeachable official. Tama ba yan? Am I getting right?
Yes, because magkakahiwalay na tanong yon, di ba? The criminal prosecution deals with deprivation of liberty.
Yeah.
You can go to jail. Whether you lose your office, that's part of the impeachment. Somebody has to file an impeachment for you to lose.
Okay, that's interesting.
Interesting scenario.
Dahil akala namin, dahil impeachable offense ka,
Oh.
after na lang term mo,
Mag-intayan.
tsaka ka pwedeng ikulong. Ibig sabihin,
Well,
during your term as vice president, hindi ka pwedeng ikulong dahil impeachable ka. But hindi ka immune from suit. Ibig sabihin, pwede kang kasuhan, pero yung,
Pwede kang makulong.
yung punishment ay after na ng term mo as vice president. At least yun yung akala namin.
Well, her lawyers or any lawyer, for example, of a Supreme Court justice can certainly ask for a deferment of the service of the sentence as part of the criminal proceedings. Di ba? But definitely, that kind of automatic accommodation with respect to criminal law is only given to the president. Only because of the presidential immunity. And we cannot afford to extend that to other public officials. Masyado madami yun.
Yeah.
Masyado madami yun. That's too much.
Yeah.
Remember, presidential immunity exists only because, according to the Supreme Court, the president is too busy steering the ship as the captain of the country. So, we weighed the scales, mas importanteng may leader tayo kesa to make him serve his time. So, in the meantime, let's suspend him from serving the sentence. That rationale will not apply, for example, to a Supreme Court justice. Why? 15 sila eh. To a vice president.
VP,
Why?
yeah.
The vice president
Spare
has
time.
no official function.
Yeah.
What danger will the country be in if the vice president is not allowed to assume office? Nothing. So only the president benefits from that kind of reasoning.
So
actually.
only the president can commit murder and get away with it.
Well, no one is above the law, according to the U.S. Supreme Court. Teka lang, Prof. Attorney, you brought up Revilla. Can I ask your thoughts on the Sandigan Bayan 3rd Division granting him bail and his co-accused getting denied bail in the context of, sabi nila, the evidence at hand is not that strong and that the alleged kickbacks came from private contractors and they were not public funds? But the ombudsman is, of course, appealing this, saying that you have to look at it in its entirety. It's part of a conspiracy.
Well, the Sandigan Bayan is, I believe, gonna hear a motion for reconsideration from the ombudsman. And the ombudsman
Meron na.
is well within his rights to file that motion for consideration because based on the facts so far presented, it's very difficult to say that this person had nothing to do, considering that the entirety seems to have originated from the insertion. So parang medyo mahirap din na nahirapan ako intindihin ko ano yung sabihin ng Sandigan Bayan kasi Justice Carl Miranda whose dissent was actually heavily circulated along the legal community actually makes a good point.
Pero,
May-
Professor, yung mga MR na yan, yung motion for reconsideration, kamusta ang president dyan? Pag nag-decision, halimbawa, Sandigan Bayan, paano sabi ng iba, parang mahirap eh. Mahirap mag-MR, no? Kung may decision na yung Sandigan Bayan. How is it? Talaga bang mahirap o
Kasi-
uphill, no?
I would consider every MR is always an uphill battle kasi
Yes.
meron ng decision, tama po kayo, and you have to convince at least one justice kasi this is a panel of 3 justices to switch their vote. So I'm not sure which of the 2 justices who overruled Justice Carl Miranda will be persuaded to reverse their vote.
Yeah.
But I'm not gonna say it's impossible also because kahit pa paano, medyo malinaw din naman din. I think maganda talaga yung dissent na linabas ni Justice Carl Miranda. Eh.
Yeah. I saw parts of it, and I think it also argued na, again, you have to look at the entirety of the crime being alleged, right? And I thought it was curious na they found probable cause in the case to begin with. Kaya nga nag-issue ng arrest warrant for former Senator Revilla, di ba? So if you already found probable cause, medyo curious para sa akin na, and then you're now saying the evidence at hand is not that strong.
Well, you have a good point there, Reg. So parang tama. If it's enough to issue a warrant and then biglang sasabihin mo the evidence is not strong, then maybe dapat din nyo na lang na-issue ng probable cause. Medyo maganda din naman yung yung approach mo sa logic doon. But on a broader picture, pag ito umakyat sa Supreme Court, kailangan pag-usapan with magiging topic sa Supreme Court, pag-uusapan na talaga ba na pagdating sa ganitong klaseng plunder, malversation, or graft, ang gagawin nating standard to find out whether the senator or a congressman is guilty is whether we can find his actual fingers in the cookie jar. Eh alam naman natin na sa ganitong klaseng scheme for plunder or graft, masyadong malayo yung actual principal doon sa actual spending. Kasi kung ganyan yung magiging framework natin when dealing with plunder, then I can definitely guarantee we will never be able to convict anyone of plunder kahit 10 taon tayo mag-flood control.
Pero in a way, Prof, nangyari na yan kay Bong Revilla before eh. Ang nakulong yung
Yeah.
kanyang chief of staff eh.
Si Richard Carr.
Yeah, that was sad, no? Oh.
Namatay sa preso, fall guy. Pero
Yeah.
at the same time, pinapasole yung 123 million
Oo.
kay Bong
And-
Revilla.
and yan din,
Ayaw isole.
Anong klase yun? Anong klaseng sistema yun? Di ba?
Yan yung isang napakahirap na kasong ituro kasi parang ang hirap i-reconcile talaga ng decision na yun, no? Na ganun lang pala kadali makaiwas sa charge na to. All you have to do is say that, oh, actually, my chief of staff forged my signature. But at the same time, the court will say, return the money. But wait, paano napunta sa yung pera? Tinanong mo yung pera. Even if finort yung signature mo.
Pero
parang ang hirap ituro nung kaso na yun eh.
But can't the system correct itself? Dahil yung buong institusyon na nasisira eh. The entire justice system ang nawawalan ng credibility eh. If that is, that will be the norm. Halimbawa, itong nangyari kay Bong Revilla, may prospect ba na yan din ang gawin ni Marcoleta, ni Jinggoy, or kung sino mang senador ang makukulong na kahit non-bailable yung case, makapag-bail?
Well, they're certainly entitled to avail of the same justification. But it's good that it's always covered also by the media. And sabi ko nga dati sa isang forum, kailangan talaga natin tutukan itong mga flood control cases as a public because pag hindi natin tutukan, doon nagkakaroon ng mga ganitong klaseng strange findings na sometimes it will be very hard to square with basic logic nga kasi. Kailangan tutukan talaga. Kailangan tutukan para kasi although courts are shielded from public opinion, it's still sensitive to what the actual
Di totoo yan.
public feels. Ha?
Hindi
Ano po?
totoo yan. Di tinatablan yung mga yan. Di tinatablan. Kaya merong
Lakasan nyo lang po.
merong-
Lakasan nyo lang po yung pagsigaw. Kasi kahit pa paano, you know, the Chief Justice is about to retire in
Ami.
November.
Ami, mag-front
Yes.
page mo kasi.
Prof,
Front
Prof.
page.
Hindi
Wag dun
hindi
sa-
na tinatablan yan.
Wag
Ilang
dun-
beses na namin sinulat, we have the best justice that money can buy.
Wag
Meron
dun sa
naman nagsabi
op-ed.
sa akin na mataas na mga magistrate. Ano naman daw sila, tinatablan sila. Pero hindi naman nakikita epekto. Nakita mo, we still get all these strange cases.
Uy.
Philippine justice works in mysterious ways.
Uy,
Prof, editorial ng number 1 newspaper sa buong Pilipinas. Taroga.
kasi ilagay mo sa
Kaya
front,
sabi ko, hindi tinatablan.
ilagay mo sa front page,
Linawin
Ami.
ko lang po, siya yung nagsasabi, hindi po ako
Si-
umuo.
si Ami
Kasi
po yun,
ako
si Ami
magkakaroon
Pintuan,
ng
oo.
lisensya sa mga sinasabi.
Lagay mo kasi sa front page. Uy, pero to speak on behalf of,
Kanila namin nakilala yan. Ha?
speak on behalf,
Hindi po ako kasama dyan.
I did an interview with Philippine Ambassador to the United States, si Ambassador Babes Romualdez, and sabi niya, Chief Justice Alexander Gismundo is trying very hard to reform the judicial
Yeah.
system. Madami daw siyang ginagawa, and especially now that he's about to step down. So, hindi lang natin nakita. I mean, I just wanted to share that context.
Yeah, that is true because I believe the Chief Justice is also parang of the mind that to leave a legacy.
Yeah.
Oh.
But at least by the time he steps down. But you also have to confront the fact that if you're dealing with a systemic problem, as Sir Ronald pointed out earlier, then the solution will never lie on just one man, right?
Yes.
Systemic eh. So medyo kailangan systemic din ang solution.
Totoo talaga. Habol ko na
Si
lang.
Amin pa rin po, so.
Yung second article. Anong tingin niyo dun sa proceedings na lang? Yung any improvement na nakita kayo, nagising na kayo, no? Any improvement dun
Nagising
sa
na kayo.
trial mismo?
Well, yeah, I mean, it's very entertaining. I mean, I was debating whether or not it's a
Entertaining.
good thing. It's very entertaining this week, right? Because all of the feeds are filled. So at least we brought the public back inside. I'll take it. I'll take it because it brought the public back inside. Now, let the impeachment court deal with how they got the public back inside, and I believe the presiding officer will deliver a ruling. But for me kasi, alam mo, sa litigation, lalo na kung bata, marami naman talagang nagkakamali. And kahit ako, nung batang abogado, marami din akong mga mistakes during when in court. So, minsan nangyayari, importante din na parang, come on, wag naman natin patulan lahat, right? Lahat. But at the same time, on the other side naman, ngayong ako namang nandun naman sa other side, na ako na yung matanda, parang at the same time, sana naman din, parang pag may nakita tayong batang abogado, pagbigyan din naman natin.
Ako kasi, Prof, nung bata ako, yung mga pagkakamali ko by design eh.
Panahon ng Kastila yun eh.
Naalala mo pa yun?
Planado.
Panahon ng
Naalala mo
Kastila
ba
mo eh.
nung bata ka?
Oo. Pero,
My
pero
laughter does not mean that I agree with that statement. Just to be clear.
Prof, anong tingin mo doon sa meme, doon sa pinost ni Attorney Ligutan? Na
so-
medyo naging controversial ngayon.
Oo.
No?
So,
Shouldn't he had done differently or wala namang problema ron dahil hindi naman siya senator judge.
And then,
Talaga namang as a prosecution, meron pa naman talaga siya. He was supposed to be biased.
and then follow up to that question is, anong dapat, what should we look out for sa ruling ng presiding officer this coming week? The ruling on that social media etiquette.
All right. Well, you know, what he said, okay, he dodged a bullet there because he didn't name anyone, right? But I think the entire country also knows what and who he was talking about. Okay, we cannot pretend. And it's very difficult to convince I think the presiding officer otherwise. So kasi kumbaga, sinabi nga din ng presiding officer na we have the tapes. So kumbaga, it's not gonna be that easy. But then again, he dodged the bullet there because he didn't name anyone. At the same time, ako kasi, ang premise ko naman dyan, you can be biased as the prosecution, but nagulat lang ako kasi nga, parang nag-post. I don't know when it was made. Was it during the hearing?
After yata.
Maybe the best way to answer this is during one oral argument I had in the Supreme Court, and Chief Justice was still sereno. I had another older lawyer beside me, and then parang tinitingnan ako ng masama ni Justice Sereno. Hindi ko alam kung bakit, wala namang ginagawang masama. Nung tinignan ko yung katabi ko, apparently nagte-text siya. So parang sabi ko, uy, tinitingnan ka ni Chief Justice, ba't ka nagte-text?
Ay, parang dito
So parang
pala.
sa akin, ganun kaagad ang isip ko, uy, may time ka para gawin yan. Naku po.
Parang
I mean,
ganito, sorry kon pala, no?
May nagte-text?
Oo,
Saka may tumatawag.
kasi parang sa akin, kung gano'n ang framework na ina-apply ng presiding officer, may point din siya, may point din siya.
Yeah.
Kasi during the proceedings, dapat full-on attention ka sa proceedings.
Oo.
Kung yun ang framework na i-apply niya. Pero tama din naman kasi si Sir Ronald na hindi mo naman pwedeng i-fault ang prosecution kasi yun naman din yung approach nila. But on a technicality, he avoided that
Pero what do you think? Itong ruling na to,
bullet by not naming anyone.
what do you think? Itong ruling na to, should it cover the senator judges as well, for example?
Oh, definitely. Oh, definitely. That's the more important thing to me as a impassionate observer here, as a citizen, because if pag-uusapan natin ay ang administration of justice and orderly proceedings and integrity of the impeachment court tribunal, then the more important attention we should give would be to the judges themselves who are splicing videos. 'Di ba? Parang kasi mas crucial 'yon sa isang tribunal na you have impartial judges or justices.
Pero sir, what can the presiding officer do in these cases? Kasi in the end, they're co-equal. He's just the first. Well, I don't know how you describe it. The first among equals or the primus inter pares. In other words, pare-pareho sila. Can he just say na bawal yan? You're sanctioned. Or
Yes.
Ano yung punishment? Yeah.
Yes, he can say
He
bawal.
cannot punish his fellow judges, but he can control the proceedings, right? So he can issue reminders. We are not asking for anyone to be sent to jail or actually excluded as a judge. But if the presiding officer is gonna take the extra step to issue a ruling on all parties to observe neutrality, then I think the court would also benefit to give the same reminder to all participants in the trial, di ba? Kasi mahirap naman burahin kasi sa consciousness ng mga Pilipino yung napanood nila or yung nakita nila online na nag-viral na gusto na it was made by a senator judge. So mahirap i-square yon na pag judge okay lang gawin yon pero pag mga lawyers hindi. So pangit, di ba? So no punishment needed. Just a reminder would be enough.
Pero in relation dun sa sinabi ni Ed, Professor, kung wala ka man lang minimum powers para mag-sanction, paano ka susundin? Kahit mag-issue ka ng mga rules. Ibig sabihin, minsan yung power mo to issue rules should be backed up by the power
Threat of force.
ng
May pamalo.
sanctions, di ba? Or else, it will be parang a suggestion. Suggestion lang yan. Ito yung ating gagawin. Ito yung ating code of conduct. Pero it's just a suggestion.
And-
Ganun ba talaga ang position ng presiding judge? Or meron siyang minimum capacity para mag-sanction?
Meron siyang, under the Senate rules, wala siyang explicit power to actually punish his fellow judges. But he definitely has the power to control the proceedings. And that's a very broad form of power. He can limit it. Tingnan nyo to. Gusto ng ibang senator judges to speak 10 minutes. He can make it 2. That's a
true.
very, di ba? That's a very important
Yeah.
manifestation. He can make it 1 minute. He has that power. Ngayon naman, ang view ko kasi sa power is that it's best not exercised, di ba?
Yeah.
Kasi if you really have to come to a point to actually exercise that power, then again, it's not the best approach to it, especially if you are also colleagues in the Senate as a
Yeah.
legislature, di ba? So kaya niyang timplahin yan. Kaya niyang timplahin. For example, the Chief Justice is primus inter pares, but hindi naman niya pwedeng i-punish yung mga kapwa niya justices. Pero marami siyang tools sa kanyang disposal para di naman maparamdam na okay. Of course, gravitas also helps. Kasi can you imagine anyone actually disobeying presiding officer Senator Enrile in the past? Di ba?
So pwede yung sabihin na, ikaw na naman, patay yung mic.
Oo nga, no? Pwede mo patay
That's
na
within
mic.
the presiding officer's power.
Oh.
He will control the proceedings eh.
Oh.
Yeah.
Ayun pala eh.
Babawasan daw niya yung mga yung mga komentaryo ng mga lawyers. Yung mga extraneous comments.
I
babawasan niya.
think fair naman yung observation ng presiding officer Senator Escudero about that. Kasi ano naman yan, even within for example sa court system natin, bawal naman kasi talaga pag you're the person litigating it in front of the court. Kaya nga ang suggestion niya, mag-appoint na lang kayo ng ibang spokesperson, 'di ba? Para at least hindi ganun ka in your face.
Pero nakikipagbiruan siya, sabihin niya kay Lorna Capunan, parang tumangkad ka ng konti. Yung mga ganun ba? Yung nakikipag-interact siya. Hindi siya masyadong distance doon sa mga doon sa mga lawyers. Isa, pwede siya makipagbiruan. No? Pero sa korte kasi, kahit yung biruan na ganun, medyo bawal yun. O at least...
Pagalitan ka.
Oo.
Well,
Pagalitan ka para si principal.
Well,
Buti pala hindi
para
ka
sa mga
nag-lawyer, no?
litigator kasi, ang rule is, bawal magbiro sa korte. Pero pag
Oh.
nagpatawa yung judge,
Pwede
Pwede.
na.
Tawa ka.
tumawa ka. Okay? Pag nasa korte ka, pag nagpatawa si judge, tumawa ka ng malakas.
Kahit corny
Hindi
pala
pwede.
eh.
kahit
Mandatory.
Hindi, kahit dito, professor, napipilitan akong tumawa.
Sino mo yung nagpapatawa? Parang baliktad yata, no?
Sa akin ang tingin na.
Ah,
Pero, Prof, kasi earlier you said na you're debating with yourself whether or not it's a good thing or a bad thing, itong behavior ng mga councils. Eh. So I get from that that you're torn between having so many people watching and being interested versus in a lot of ways the behavior and the way that the councils are treating each other. Am I getting you right? And also, so I suppose by that, if I got you right, that means na meron talagang overreach minsan yung mga council.
Well, kasi, look, the way I approach it when I say that I'm debating with myself is because, number one, the first problem when the impeachment started was it was getting too technical,
Yeah.
diba? And the public was being ostracized.
Tune out.
But this color, this drama is bringing them back in.
Yeah.
Okay. But at what cost? Kasi kumbaga, this week, mahalaga yung mga tinestify ng COA eh. And ito naman talaga yung core ng public accountability when public funds are involved. Pero, nakukonsume yung oras ko answering questions from colleagues and from outside. Oh, ano ba tong misleading, leading debate? Yung ganon, di ba? O yung Twitter post na ganito. Parang, kumbaga, maganda sana pinag-uusapan natin talaga yung meat or yung substance ng testimony and ng cross, di ba? Instead of the color commentary. But I'll take it for, I'll take the gains because the public is now invested again and maybe they're invested enough to go back and stay for the third and fourth week and until it's finished.
Yeah. Prof, we're running out of time, but I wanted to touch on one last topic. Baka lang may insights ka on the extradition treaty. Sorry, not treaty, but the extradition request for Apollo Kibuloy from U.S. authorities. We know at this point na nasa DOJ na and they are studying it. I wonder if you have any insights as to how they might treat this, especially given the requirement that the courts have to approve.
Yeah, extradition requests have to go through a court proceeding. Now, how fast that court proceeding goes is well within the control of the government because it has to present its own request. But at the same time, I noted that there are certain other external factors that seem to be coming together underlying this particular extradition request. If you remember, there have been some previous extradition requests before. Mark Jimenez, for those who remember who he is. It can go as fast as the government wants it to go or as slow as the government. So it's gonna be very interesting how the prosecutors will actually be able to expedite matters for this request.
Pero
Pero the buck stops daw with the executive with
Kaya nga,
Malacanang. Because it's a
kasi
treaty.
kumbaga, pwede mong, as the executive, the prosecutorial branch can actually
Yeah.
really ask for expedited proceedings. Handa na kami in one day. Parang warrant application. Kaya na namin itong patunayan lahat. Judge, ka na. Or, pwede silang humingi ng 30 days of trial, 3 years of trial. Depende. Ayaw ko pangunahan ng DOJ. Mas kapisado nila yan.
Oo.
But kaya, for extradition kasi, mahirap i-separate sa external factors that actually underpin yung extradition request.
But of course, we will expect the defense to try to block it, to appeal. What recourse do they have here? Anong mga moves nakikita mo?
Well, the extradition request is concerning a Filipino citizen. Okay? So, every Filipino citizen this is extradition this is separate.
Yeah.
Ayoko pasukin yung ibang
Oo.
mga Pilipinong dinadala sa ibang tribunal. Ibang usapin yun ibang batas yun. But for extradition, every Filipino will be able to prove that, will be able to be given time to question on a due process basis the substantive basis of that request itself. Yung requesting party, let's say the other state, the United States, pwede nila i-question yun. Since Pilipino yan, tapos dadali mo sa ibang bansa via extradition, meron talagang avenue yung defense dyan.
May mga grounds for appeal talaga.
Yeah, oo. Kasi it shouldn't be that easy naman din. But then again,
Pero at the same time, Professor, extraordinary kasi yan eh. Because
Oh,
it's
yeah.
it's a
Oo.
treaty between two states. Pwede din nilang
Yes.
gawin sa inyo yan eh. Babagalan din namin kung meron kayong request dito. Kung ganyan pala ang trato nyo dito. So, may isang extraordinary situation yan. Hindi yan yung normal na mga kwan.
yeah. Well, extradition is not something that happens basta-basta. Kasi kumbaga you only have so many favors to ask your counterpart government. So gagamitin ko ba tong pabor na to, itong token na to for this one? Na, 'di ba? Apparently, the United States government sees Pastor Kibuloy as a very important target to actually issue this token. So kaya nga sabi ko, for this legal proceeding, it's very difficult to process it without looking at the external factors. Kailangan holistic ang approach sa kanya.
Okay?
Okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
Who's gonna be the next Chief Justice? Baka may chismis
Whoever
ka.
the president appoints.
Gusto mo malaman yung short list?
Sabi na nga.
Yes, we want the short list. I'm sure meron na yan. But anyways, we'll leave that there. And we'll ask you offline. Thank you so much for talking to us today.
Salamat, Prof.
Attorney
Thanks, sir.
John Molo of the UP College of Law. Salamat, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, Professor.